2025 has been a turbulent year in South African politics. The year has been criticized by South Africa's strained relationships with other nations, while internally the Government of National Unity also found itself marred by squabbles that threatened the passing of the country's budget. The country also mourned the passing of its former Deputy President, David Mabuza. As the year draws to a close, Newzroom Afrika's Juniour Khumalo takes a look back at 10 moments in South African politics that made headlines in 2025.
From the onset, 2025 proved to be a challenging year. In January, 14 South African soldiers were killed in attacks in the DRC. South Africa accused Rwandan forces of being involved in the attacks. A heated war of words erupted between the presidents of the two nations.
Things are relatively quiet at the moment, and our soldiers are also in a safe place. So that's what we can say at the moment. I spoke to some of the leaders earlier. I spoke to President Kagame again this morning. And we are insisting that the ceasefire is called.
It's just that at that stage when they were firing above our heads, the president did want them to say, if you're going to fire, we'll take it as a declaration of war and we'll have to defend our people.
Relations that had been strained for years, notably since 2014 when South Africa expelled Rwandan diplomats after an attack on an exiled Rwandan dissident's home in Johannesburg, reached an all-time low in 2025. Internally, cracks began to show within the Government of National Unity, which came about following the failure of any one party to get a clear majority following the 2024 elections.
Honorable members, clearly I've listened to the views of all parties, and I think it is in the interest of all of us and the people of South Africa that we postpone and allow time to the Treasury to finalize whatever they need to finalize.
In February, the initial budget was postponed as GNU partners like the DA rejected Treasury's plan for a significant VAT increase from 15% to 17%. This led to Finance Minister Inokotongwana's attempt for a second time to table the budget in March 2025.
The postponement of the tabling of the budget 3 weeks ago was a regrettable, but perhaps an understandable feature of multi-party governance. It is also a sign of some of the difficulties associated with a multi-party democracy.
The second attempt to pass the budget was also rejected, causing an impasse that led to fiscal uncertainty. It was only on the third attempt in May that the coalition partners finally reached an agreement and managed to pass the budget. Having stabilized the country's finances, a South African delegation led by President Cyril Ramaphosa sought to also mend fractured relations with international powerhouse the United States of America. Little did they know that they were walking into an ambush.
But why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said, kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing, and it's kill the white farmers. I'm not sure, but I think if somebody got up in Parliament and started saying, kill a certain group of people, he would be arrested very quickly.
In July, former Deputy President David Mabuza died at the age of 64 following a short illness. Ramaphosa described his passing as a significant loss to the nation.
David Mabuza, DD, as we all fondly knew him, was a revered leader not only in his home province, but also throughout the country. He served as our country's
deputy president. He served as the premier of this province and as a deputy president of his movement, the African National Congress. When he served as a member of parliament, he also was a leader of government business, where he proved to be a renowned political strategist, always deftly navigating the very difficult balance amongst various political parties.
As the country was still reeling from this loss, KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi called a press briefing that would change how South Africans viewed the country's criminal justice system. He revealed alleged widespread corruption and political interference within the top echelons of the South African Police Service.
Minister issues a letter on the 31st. The National Commission is on leave. National Commission comes back from leave. He's concerned about this directive of the minister because it's got criminal in it. That you don't stop a criminal investigation. Even the National Commission himself can't tell a constable to stop an investigation. So who is then the minister can say that? And the Deputy National Commissioner will then issue these directives. The National Commissioner signs a letter, a call-up instruction to continue deploying this task team to work.
Since then, 2025 has been dominated by attempts seeking to probe the veracity of these explosive allegations.
Mabuza, Afrika.
Having left the EFF in the previous year and found solace in the arms of former President Jacob Zuma's MK party, Floyd Shivambu in September announced that his short-lived romance with the KZN-based party has come to an end.
We had foresight and understanding. We have already complied with all the provisions of the Electoral Commissions Act of 1996. So Africa Mabuza movement is registered as a political party in terms of the Electoral Commission Act of 1996. They have a certificate that acknowledges us as a political party. What that means is that Africa Mabuza movement, Mabuza, is going to be able to contest by-elections strategically. We are going to contest all the wards in the 2026 local government election.
Having already removed corruption-accused Thembisi Melane from the Justice Ministry portfolio in a mini reshuffle of his cabinet in December 2024 and redeployed her in the Human Settlements portfolio, Ramaphosa in November this year again made changes to his cabinet, unceremoniously removing the DA's Dion George as Environment Minister. More than anything, this move highlighted divisions within the DA as opposed to challenges within the GNU.
In accordance with Section 91(3)(b) of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, President Ramaphosa has appointed Mr. Willem Abraham Stephanus Ocamp, Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment. Consequently, the President has removed Dr. Dion George from the portfolio in accordance with Section 91(2) of the Constitution.
The instabilities within the DA were further brought to the fore when news broke in November that the Cape Town Magistrates Court granted a default judgment against DA leader John Steenhuisen. This judgment, granted earlier in the year, was over Steenhuisen's alleged failure to pay personal credit card debt of nearly 150,000 rand. Steenhuisen was not the only political party leader to find himself in hot water in November. The MK party's Duduzile Sambudla Zuma fell on her own sword after admitting to having been involved in the scam that saw close to 20 South African young men conscripted by an unspecified mercenary group and sent to join Russian forces in Ukraine. Despite the roller coaster that was the 2025 political calendar, the country seemingly ended the year on a positive note, hosting a successful G20 Leaders Summit. This despite the US president having pulled out from participating in the gathering. 2026 also promises to be an eventful year as political parties are set to battle it out with the country hosting its local government elections. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Juniour Khumalo in Johannesburg.